Recent interdisciplinary research reveals that the principles of right and wrong behavior and the goodness or badness of human character and psychological health are deeply intertwined with the cellular aging processes. Specifically, the maintenance of telomeres, the protective DNA sequences at chromosome ends, appears to correlate with human character traits associated with virtue, emotional regulation, and integrity. The relationship between ethical character and telomere biology, arguing, is that moral development functions as both a psychological and biological regulator of the aging process. By integrating findings from molecular biology, stress physiology, and moral philosophy, the study suggests that virtue serves as a biochemical stabilizer, linking living an ethical life to biological longevity. For millennia, moral and religious traditions have affirmed that goodness preserves life and vice brings decay. Contemporary molecular biology is offering empirical insights that resonate with these ancient intuitions. Telomeres, the protective end caps of DNA strands, are now understood as markers of biological aging. The integrity of these structures can be influenced not only by genetic and environmental factors, but also by psychological and the human character. This proposes that good character traits, such as compassion, humility, integrity, and patience, help maintain biological resilience by reducing stress and promoting cellular stability. Telomeres protect chromosomes during cell division, ensuring genetic stability. With each division, telomeres shorten, marking cellular aging. When telomeres become critically short, cells enter senescence or apoptosis. Research by Blackburn, Grider, and Shostak, 2006, who received a Nobel Prize for their discovery, has established telomeres as essential biomarkers of longevity. Further studies by Epple et al., 2004, demonstrated that chronic psychological stress accelerates telomere shortening, while emotional well-being and psychological health are associated with longer telomere length. Telomeres thus record the physiological consequences of mental and emotional health. Moral character functions as an internal regulator of emotional and physiological stress. Traits such as forgiveness, self-control, and empathy reduce cortisol and inflammatory responses that otherwise damage telomeric DNA. Conversely, chronic anger, deceit, and resentment stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, prolonging exposure to oxidative stress. These findings suggest that virtue ethics, historically regarded as a moral pursuit, may also represent a biological survival mechanism. Ethical living is not only socially stabilizing, but also cellularly protective. Integrity, understood as the alignment of belief, speech, and action, creates psychological coherence that mirrors biological homeostasis. In contrast, moral conflict or deception produces internal dissonance, triggering physiological stress responses. This psychosomatic tension disrupts hormonal balance and may accelerate telomeric degradation. As Ananovsky's 1979 theory of sense of coherence suggests, individuals who live with integrity experience lower allostatic load or cumulative stress burden. Moral harmony, therefore, can be conceptualized as a state of molecular balance. Compassion and forgiveness, two core virtues emphasized across ethical systems, have measurable effects on cellular repair. Research by Jacobs et al., 2011, and Schutte and Malauf, 2014, found that compassion meditation increases telomerase activity, the enzyme responsible for maintaining telomere length. Forgiveness interventions have been linked to reduce inflammatory cytokines and improved immune function. Ethical benevolence, once considered metaphysical, thus reveals quantifiable biological benefits. The ethical and the physiological, far from being separate, operate in concert. Purposeful living, often grounded in moral or spiritual conviction, correlates strongly with reduced mortality. Longitudinal studies, e.g. Hill and Turiano, 2014, demonstrate that individuals with a strong sense of life, meaning live longer and experience fewer chronic illnesses. Purpose aligns human behavior with coherent values, reducing existential stress. The pursuit of moral and spiritual goals, therefore, organizes the psyche and physiology around a unified pattern, strengthening resilience at both cellular and psychological levels. Human beings exist within a moral biological ecology in which ethical actions, emotional health, and molecular stability form an interdependent system. Just as environmental toxins harm ecosystems, moral toxins, deceit, greed, and hatred pollute the body's internal chemistry. Virtues act as antioxidants of the soul, counteracting the oxidative stress that accelerates aging. In this sense, moral education and character formation constitute preventive medicine. Ethics and biology converge in the recognition that harmony, not aggression, sustains life. In conclusion, virtue is the medicine of life. The emerging field of moral biology suggests that virtue is not merely a cultural ideal, but a fundamental expression of biological wisdom. Good character stabilizes emotional states, regulates stress hormones, and sustains telomere length. The ethical and the biological, therefore, are two languages describing one truth, the integrity of the whole person. Ancient proverbs, such as, "A merry heart does good like medicine," Proverbs 17, verse 22, find resonance in modern molecular science. In an age seeking longevity through technology, the path of inner harmony, the cultivation of virtue, remains the most profound and enduring medicine.